Yeah, so just part of the process. So today is physically Tuesday, but in our world it's more of a Thursday. So this is right in the middle of our chicken tender fiasco that we're having right now. So it's sitting there, Kelly, it's sitting there waiting on me. Over there, some grilled ones, some fried ones, some cheese dip, a little honey mustard. So we'll get back to that, and then our game planning meetings, playing the players, plan to win, kick script, all the things that we do on a Thursday. We will have that going on the rest of this afternoon, so I'm going to get back to that. Um, First of all, it's my wife's birthday today, so I don't know how much I'll see her today, but happy birthday, and so it's a good deal. Excited for Thursday night. Excited to be back. You know, when I always dreamed about being the head coach here and dreamed about Georgia Tech, and invariably, you know, the images and the visions of being in those moments always came back to playing under the lights in Bobby Dodd. And I think this is arguably one of the greatest backdrops for a night game in college football. Obviously, we need to get back to being in a position to play in those games more and more and more every single year. And that's what we're actively in the process of doing. But just excited for the fan base, excited for our players to be in that kind of environment, that kind of atmosphere on ESPN Thursday night under the lights downtown Atlanta. I think it's a special, special thing, and you know, been really pleased with the fan base and the way the energy and the atmosphere is in Bobby Dodd Stadium as of late has been really good, and we're going to continue to match that at a high level with how we play as a organization. Being reflective, I don't know if we played our brand of football on Saturday. Our brand of football is to come out and give unbelievable effort in every single phase, on every single play, compete at the highest level on every single snap, play with unbelievable energy and excitement and enthusiasm, and play together. And, you know, that's on me as a coach. And those are things that we had tell the through Sunday. It was done by 10 a.m. and we were moving on to get ready on a short week. The guys have handled it. They've handled the messaging. And, you know, we think the world of these young men that we're blessed to coach. And, you know, they are committed to continuing to get better every single day. And, you know, excited to see them play Thursday night. Questions?
Do you feel like maybe you had three very tough kind of emotional games in a row leading up to the Virginia Tech game? And obviously your team's playing through a lot of injuries at key positions and those types of things. Did maybe the pressure of those games and the emotions that are spent that way maybe come impact themselves in that Virginia Tech game and how you guys came out?
So when you're doing it right and we have everything clicking and every phase of our development is instilled, it is just who you are and what you do. It should be we talked a lot about it this week, just being able to stay in the moment and not worrying about the past, not worrying about the future, but being right here in the moment, every single thing that you do. And, you know, that is a part of the process that we're making sure our guys understand. But to your point, they did play some really good football. They were investing so much, you know, and when they do it every single day. And, you know, we just got to make sure we're putting it together, because to be successful for us, we have to be playing our brand of football, executing at a high level, playing together to have a chance against really, really good teams. And we've got to make sure we're doing that every single day in practice. And then once we get the, you know, college football Thursdays or college football Saturdays, be able to make sure we're establishing that brand of football that, you know, we need to have. Right.
Excuse me. Could you run us through where Curtis Ryan started out and where he is now?
Yeah, he's not. He's come a long way. I still remember the first time I saw Curtis. Curtis is every bit of 6'5", was thin, underdeveloped, first got here. And even throughout spring ball, didn't really know what he was going to be able to play. Was he twitchy enough to be a defensive end? Was he going to have the growth potential to add the mass to be an inside guy? So throughout the spring, just trying to feel it our way through what he would be able to play for us. And throughout the preseason, after the summer, developing with Coach Lou and the strength staff, you could see him getting a little stronger and improving his flexibility and those kind of things. Had a good preseason camp. Was starting to do some things defensive end-wise that we were starting to lean toward. Maybe he is a defensive end instead of moving him inside and putting him on another 30, 40 pounds. But he just kept getting better and kept getting better. And I don't think he has been on the above-the-line chart all year until he gets his first start. Was his first real significant action. But I just think that goes to the development of a player. For the first 7 weeks of the season, he's on the developmental team. And, I don't know if you guys are out there, if we keep it open, but I'm down there coaching the scout team defense, the developmental defense, every single day. So I'm coaching him and getting those guys better and better and better. And they play our defense, our schemes, our terminologies. And so the development of the player, same thing with Michael Lockhart, is able to accelerate because they're doing our things and doing our defense all year round, and is finally in a position to contribute. And sadly, we had a lot of guys go down along the defensive line. I think 5 of the guys that have played the significant amount of reps all season aren't playing anymore. But that affords Curtis an opportunity, Sylvain an opportunity to get much more playing time. Jordan Dominic, who wasn't playing the first half of the season, is starting to play and contribute a lot more. But we're excited about their future. He's still a redshirt freshman. Jordan Dominic's still a redshirt freshman. Sylvain is a true freshman, and they're playing the significant snaps for us in the ACC at defensive end and getting better every single day, every single rep. And, I think with those guys, the future is really, really bright. And for now, we need the present to be really bright as well, and they're working hard to make that happen. Tori?
Talking to some of the guys yesterday, and it kind of echoed what you were talking about earlier about how on Saturday the effort and the energy, they felt like it was different in that it maybe wasn't to the level of which they wanted it to be. I guess moving forward and looking over the past 3 days, what examples have you seen from them in the way that they've responded and kind of taking accountability for that?
Yeah, it's a resilient group. You guys are out there at practice. The guys go hard. We chart every single thing with empirical data on effort and how we're going to manage player loads to make sure that they're able to execute at a high level once it gets to game time. So all of those things are in place. Any deficiencies from an effort standpoint with an individual are brought up, are corrected. We're very honest with our guys in our evaluation. And the cool thing about having the catapult system is we're not making it up based on feelings. It is real, actionable data. You're usually running at 18.4 miles an hour throughout practices. You were at 15.7. You need to pick it up, or something's got to. We've got to do something to help you perform better. So those kind of things, those kind of discussions happen every single day, and so that we can get them to play at their highest level. Come Saturdays or even Thursdays. In the short week, a big part of our process is the recovery piece and making sure at all times we're educating them. We've got one of the nicest locker rooms and training facilities in all of college football, and we spend an inordinate amount of time educating them on the ice tub, the hot tub, the contrast, roll stretch, all the things that you need to do to get ready to play at a high level. And the guys are still learning how to do that, but it'll continue to get better.
Charles? You spoke after the game about Jordan Yates providing a spark. You still have some flexibility to give him some more exposure and protect his red shirt.
Yeah, so he'll be able to play the next 2 games. So we have Patrick Suttis, our general manager, keeps a detailed chart of exactly where we are. We've got a detailed plan. There's a couple of guys that Some have 2 games left, so we'll be able to max them out. Some only have 1 game left, so we're being very strategic for how we're going to implement the plan for those guys. And then some guys, a lot of our true freshmen have been playing all season, and we'll continue to get them to develop. But we've got a plan. I think there's 3 guys that are on that 1 game plan, and so we're working that in based on attrition levels at the positions to get it just right.
Just as a follow-up, you're obviously developing James Graham. Is there any reluctance about cutting into his playing time to give Jordan Yates the look?
I think the world of James. It's just the evolution of a player. You have any player at any position that's a redshirt freshman that's having to step onto that stage and be expected to play at a high level. There's going to be some hills and valleys, some ups and downs. But we're committed to every single player in our program, regardless of position. Obviously, there's certain positions that are more in the spotlight, and there's certain positions that you're going to notice the really good things and the things that still need to be worked on. Those things are going to show up at certain positions. Others, you're not going to notice every time. A young defensive tackle or young defensive end doesn't play his exact assignment because there's other layers of the defense that are able to make up for it. So it's just the development of a player, and we're committed to it. And, we're excited about James and his abilities. And I thought Jordan came in there and did some good things as well, so we're excited about him.
Yeah, Coach, I was talking to Tyler and Jared, a couple of your graduate transfer guys. It was more like talking to an assistant coach almost than a player. But in their 2-part question, first part, in their brief time here, now that it's almost coming to an end, what kind of contribution have those guys made?
I mean, I don't think I have enough time in this press conference to say all the virtues of what those two. When you look back at the development of this program a couple of years from now, the impact that Tyler Davis and Jared Southers had might be 2 of the most impactful people in the development and the baseline of this program, the foundation of this program. We're going to announce it. Morpheus, I'm going to go ahead and announce it, but Morpheus is going to put out a cool graphic and all these kind of things. But our process throughout the season is we'll have 4 different captains all throughout the year. Then on senior day, the seniors won't be able to be captains because they'll be getting recognized. Well, the game before the last game, we announce our permanent captains. And so we had on Sunday, part of our Tell It Through Sunday, every single player on the team voted for the 4 best leaders and the 4 best teammates. Then I compiled those numbers and put 1 through 4 for the permanent captains for this season. And it's really cool that 2 guys that came in as grad transfers were voted by their peers as permanent captains. So Jared Southers, Tyler Davis, Nathan Cottrell, and David Curry were the 4 guys that our organization, our team, voted as the permanent captains for this season. I think that's really cool. It's no secret that there was only 6 seniors that we inherited, and then we brought in 2, and just the impact that all of those guys have made has been really special. It's meant a lot to me, and the outside world might look at the season or the things that have happened to us in a certain way, but the pride that I have in that senior class and their contributions, and those 2 in particular, is very, very special and has laid a really good foundation for what we're going to be doing going forward.
Yeah, and I was just wondering, when they were coming here, you couldn't promise them that they'd win a lot of games. Sure. What was the pitch, and what have they gotten out of this?
So the first one was, so you talk about Tyler, there's not been a tight end at this great institution in 11 years. And we needed a tight end to be able to do the things that we do offensively. So that was the draw for him. The second draw is, and I've talked about this before, but Matt Bayless, who's the head strength coach at Notre Dame, was his strength coach at UConn. Lou Corrala trained under Matt Balis. I was with Matt Balis when we were at Mississippi State. We were #1 team in the country. So a lot of the things that we do and belief systems that we have in the off season, in the development of a player and the development of a program, exist in that manner. Tyler wanted to come here because he wanted that in his life. He knew that since Matt Balis had left, there was a little part of him that longed for that part of the development, the things that we do to create relationships and to form bonds through shared adversity, all of those things that we do throughout the off season that enable us through tough times to be resilient, to still come out there and battle, still come out there and fight, put the ball down, and play at a high level. Tyler wanted that. And so he chose to come here because he knew that's how we ran the offseason. That's the mentality of this program. And then Jared Southers knew that for 11 years they'd not run a pro-style NFL-based system and needed to come here to help us install that, be able to help us, obviously get playing time. And he's played every single game this year admirably. Might have played every play this year.
Close to it,
right? And done a really good job. But the really cool thing is, we talked about it today in the team meeting, is building a culture as a global program, but also there needs to be an identity within each position group. There needs to be an identity on offense, on defense, and special teams. And I think the identity that Tyler Davis, Jared Southers have gotten established in those two rooms positionally will last a long time around here. The two Tylers, Cooksey and Davis, take great pride in developing the two Dylans, Dylan Leonard and Dylan Devaney, and they basically act like coaches when we're not around. And the same thing Jared is doing in that offensive line room. It's really cool.
Time for a couple more, Kelly.
NC State's a team in sort of a similar situation that's been hit hard by injuries,
Sure.
and they're not in a transition, but they've had a tough season as
Right.
well. Kind of what do you see from them offensively and defensively as you go into this game Thursday?
Yeah, so they're in. Obviously, they've got good players and good coaches, but you can tell they're tough, they're physical, they're resilient. They play really, really hard. They do a lot of unique things schematically that we've not seen in a couple of weeks on defense. So just those cumulative reps at unique schemes. For the most part, it's a 3-3 stack, some form of an odd stack that not a lot of teams play. So just the cumulative reps of attacking that and the blocking schemes and the blitz pickup and the Mike IDs, all of those things will be unique. And on a short week, really trying to get those down pat in an accelerated manner. And then offensively, they're very multiple in this day and age of college football that you need to be. But they've got some really, really good players, and they play really, really hard.
David at the back. Okay.
As we were talking before, I spoke with Matt Rule yesterday, and he was very complimentary of just the influence he had on you, or you had on him, excuse me. But I'm curious, and obviously he worked for you, but were there things that you got from him that you've been able to apply here and other places?
Yeah, absolutely. So, when you have a 20-plus year relationship with someone and you have the same mindset and the same mentality, and you see football and the processes of football and the processes of developing players, building relationships, helping guys set up for life after football, whether that be in the NFL or whether that be in the business world, and having lasting long-term relationships. What you love about football is very similar. The work ethic that you have is very similar. So the closest friends that you have in life probably have this similar mindset and the same thought processes and want to be high achievers. One of the things that we talk about all the time, me and Matt, me and Brent Key, me and Ed Manowich, who's one of my dear friends, is any time that we talk about bringing somebody into the organization, a coach or a staff member, and Matt and I have had this conversation for 20 years, is are they one of us? Do they have the same belief system, work ethic, positive attitude, those kind of things that enable you in tough times to have success? So we always have those conversations. We've shared ideas for 20 years at the different places that we've been, ways to get better in every single thing that we do. And, I still remember, so my first year head coach at Temple, Matt and them weren't doing great, weren't having a great season. They were setting the foundation for their future success, and they just had college game day at Baylor against Oklahoma this past weekend. But I still remember Coach Sinagra, Morpheus, who were there with us. We get bowl eligible against Tulsa, and the second we're done with the game, I told Scott Wallace, our director of operations, FaceTime Matt, get Matt on the phone. And we go into that locker room, and I give my little speech, whatever I said, I don't know. And I pulled out the phone, and Matt, you're here with us. You helped this, and we believe in you, and the future is going to be bright where you're at Baylor. And I think that was a special moment. We beat Navy on a Thursday night game that first year, and I still remember him after the game. I had like 5 texts from him and Sean Patton, who was with us at Albright College too, just that they felt like they had won the game too, because they were so engaged and so proud of us. And I think those kind of experiences, when you have somebody that you share such a close bond with, and at times that they might be struggling while they're building something that's going to be special, to be able to know that somebody's in your corner, that they care about you. And I always tried to do that for Matt, even when we were having a lot of success. And then Matt's having, obviously with us, as we're building this thing. And it's pretty cool to have friends like that.
Just quick two-parter, Coach. What challenges does NC State present offensively and defensively? And then what challenges does a short week present for you guys?
Yeah, so kind of talked about it with the odd stack stuff that they do on defense, very multiple and things coming from different angles. So just trying to accelerate the process on a unique scheme and getting the things down pat, and then just very multiple offensively. Short week wise, just the thing that we've talked about since Sunday, we accelerated our process. Normally our Tell the Truth Sunday piece happens later in the afternoon on Sunday. We accelerated it to 9 a.m. on Sunday, and everything that we've done, we've had to accelerate. But the thing we've been stressing the entire time is we still have to, even though we're accelerating, we have to stay in the moment while we're in that moment. So you got to stay in the moment while you're preparing. Stay in the moment when you're in the region sessions. We're in just a chair drill or a walkthrough. Stay in the moment during those, even though we're having to accelerate it on just a 5-day week. We can't be such in a hurry to get to the next thing that we're not focused on the task at hand. And, in building a program and a culture, those are things that are educational pieces that our coaching staff's doing a really good job, and our players are handling at a high level. Thank you, guys.